What's going on, everyone? Wind Model 88 back at you here. Wanted to do a little review, a little tabletop review of a gun I just recently picked up. I actually found this old girl here on a website. Actually, a gun dealer that I didn't find it on a gun broker or anything, Guns America, Guns International. I actually found it just scrolling through. I was looking for an old school coach gun, another one, and I just typed in old coach guns for sale on my search engine, and these guys came up. It's actually called Old Western Scrounger. They go by OWS, I think supply.com. And when you call them, the phone number pops up as Navy Arms. They are out of Martinsburg, West Virginia. So I want to give them a shout out. They actually had these guns. They had 3 of them showing on their website for a very good price. We'll get into that later. I called them on a Wednesday. The gentleman who runs it, who goes to shows, he had actually the three that were left. A lady on the phone told me they had already sold, and then they had 20 other ones that they had got a hold of, but they were packaged up in a trailer already, going for a show. Going to a show this Saturday. Yesterday, supposed to be, and she called me back after I gave her all my info and said that, sorry, Mister, we can't sell them because we don't have any to sell until Monday after the sale. And so I was like, all right, whatever, stuff happens. She's like, we'll let you know Monday if all 20 of them don't sell. Like, all right, that's fine, no biggie. That's the way stuff is. I ain't gonna get bent out of shape. Well, she actually called me back. Actually, no, she didn't even call me. I got an email Friday about 10:30, 11 in the morning. It said my payment had been accepted, and it had already shipped out, and it was on the way here from West Virginia. So this gun they actually shipped this gun overnight. It left Friday during the day, and it was here Saturday about 2 o'clock. At one of my local shops, so I picked it up. But shout out to Old Western Scrounger or Navy Arms. But this is what we picked up. It is an old style coach gun. This is a legit coach gun. As you see, it is used. On the outside, you can tell it was used. Now, it's not beat to shit. I mean, there's some scuffs, some indentations, some marks in the wood. Now, there's no cracks in the stock, you know what I mean, like cracks with the grain or against the grain that are through. There's a crack there, but that's not like a splinter crack. It's just on the surface. But I'll give you a quick look at the gun here. It has that beautiful, beautiful old case hardening. That's real legit case hardening. This is absolutely gorgeous. The etching is amazing. Now the barrel, you see there is some wear on the barrel. The bluing is not very good on it. There is a tiny bit of pitting on the outside, a little bit of rust as well, but it is not terrible. The front bead is still on it. The ribbing in the middle, the center section is in very good shape. It's very solid. The safeties work. The lever works fine, and you ain't gonna be able to see it. But the bore on this gun is absolutely amazing. I mean, you can tell it was shot. It's not perfect, but when you look through this in the light, it's like a mirror. So I mean, you can tell it was shot. There's some wear marks on it, but it is so shiny, I couldn't believe it. Compared to what the outside looks like. Not that the outside is bad, But the bore on this is absolutely amazing. Give you a look at the other side here. See, this is a walnut. It is a European style stock. They call it a straight stock or a long stock. See that case hardening on that side. Etching on the forearm, underside of the barrel there. Engraving on the trigger guard, beautiful. Double trigger. See, there's some nicks there, but guns like it, I like to see stuff like this on these kind of guns. Gives it character. I'm not gonna do anything to this stock. I might just put some lemon oil on it to shine it up a little bit, but I ain't gonna sand it down or nothing. I might blue it, I'm not sure yet. I might just leave it the way it is because it looks fucking badass. But engraved etched buttstock, no pad, nothing. It's kind of neat. I haven't seen too many guns with the etched buttstock right into the wood. That's very cool on that. But like I say, it's a double barrel, 18.5 inch, 12 gauge. It came with modified chokes from factory, but they're not in it. So this is just both of these barrels. They're open. You know, they're just open barrels. There's no choke. But this is a AYA Yeoman. As you can see, YEOMAN. That's the model. AYA is the company. Is the brand. So it's an AYA Yeoman. Flip her around here. This side of the barrel. You can see. If you'll be able to see it or not. Get that in focus for you. AYA. AYA actually stands for, this is Spain, this is a Spanish-made gun, Aguirre, it's Aguirre, and Aranzable. So that's what AYA stands for. Closer look at the bluing on it. But take her apart here for you. Simple. Some of them have the releases in the middle. You push down on them, they pop off. Some of them actually have a screw. This one has the plunger type. At the top of the fore end, you just push that in. Comes right off. And as you can see, the metal in the middle of the forearm matches the wood on the forearm, so that's a matching forearm. And the numbers on the forearm match the barrel and the receiver and the stock. So this is a 5-piece matching gun. Where was I going to show you here? Some engraving marks on the bottom here. You should be able to see it. My shitty light here. See right there. Made in Spain. And it has the 18.5 etched in it there. And it has the insignias of the company. AYA insignias. And of course Navy Arms stamped it up here. 12 gauge Spain. Navy Arms, Martinsburg, West Virginia. On the underside of the rib. The center section rib. So, I mean, forearm comes off like any other double barrel. Big barrel apart. Push your lever in. It comes right apart. See, the 12-70. This gun was made in 1970. So, I mean, it's not super, super old. I mean, it's, you know, what, 80, 90? It's what, 50-year-old gun. 80, 90, 2000. It's what, 52 years old. But, you know, it's a classic gun. I mean, shit. For the shape it's in, I mean, this gun has some history behind it. But some motor insignias on there. The metal stamping on it, 900 kilograms. As you can see, the 448 500 on the barrel. That matches the 448 500 on the wood of the foregrip, handguard, whatever you want to call it, and the metal. So, I mean, there's 3 matching pieces. Actually, yeah, 3. And then on the inside here, you got your 448 500. So it's a matching receiver as well. Now, you see the case hardening on the inside here. Very intact yet very beautiful. A little bit of rust, but I mean, it's nothing I can't take care of if I wanted to. I might just keep it, honestly, the way it is. See the engraving on that trigger guard. It's very beautiful. The little insignia up here on the top of the your release lever. Pretty neat. Some engraving right in here. Put it back together and I'll give you a little rundown. Now put it back together just like any other. You put your slide your lever to the side. Put your barrel, the first piece in down into your little I don't know what you call that. Your bevel, I guess. That first piece, cut out, you put it down in, lock her in place. Forearm slides in, snaps in place, simple. Back together, ready to roll. Give you a little rundown, a little history on this gun. Now it is, of course, an AYA Yeoman, Spanish-made double barrel. Aguirre and Aaron Zibol is AYA. Of course, this one made in 1970, the one I had. They were made in the northern part of Spain, in Basque, I think it's Basque country, a town called Ibar. They were famous for side-by-sides and over and unders, but their side-by-sides definitely more popular. That was their big selling point, and these are based on the very, early European side-by-sides called the Holland Royal guns. And if you've never seen a Holland Royal, look them up. They are absolutely gorgeous. The engraving and etching on them guns is still today, I think, are pretty close to untouchable. But they're just gorgeous. So Holland Royal, look them up. That's what these AYAs are based on. Loosely based on, but based on nonetheless. This one is a box lock design. Now there are side locks and there are 2 big double barrel designs, are side locks and box locks. Now the box lock design, like this one, the locks are on the inside of the action, as opposed to a side lock design where the locks are actually on the side of the stock. We'll get into that. I'm going to go over that box lock, side lock here in a little bit. But all these guns, all the ALIA guns, they were custom handmade. Almost each one of these guns, or like I said, custom handmade guns. Very little machine oriented. A lot of this, they say 90% of these guns were made by hand. So you gotta respect that. I mean, just look at the stuff on this gun. I mean, some people, that's plain, but the etching, you know, the engraving, the case hardening, I mean, the styles of the hand trigger guard, the little insignias, I mean, all that being hand done, that's impressive to me, you know. I love a good marksmanship, or a craftsmanship, you know. It's, you know, a lot of these polymer guns, I mean, polymer guns are what they are. They have their use. I mean, it doesn't take much brain power, manpower to make them. So these guns are just as impressive, you know, what people do with their hands and their brain without the use of technology. So that's amazing that these were custom handmade. There's 4 types of these. There's a number 1 type, a number 2, a number 3, and a number 4 type of the AYA Yeomans. Now this one here, from what I read the serial number, or I ran the serial number. Of course, that's how I found the date of manufacture before I actually, you know, seen the 1970 stamp on it. From what I understand, number 1, 2, 3, and 4 goes by kind of and goes along with the age. So, you know, your number 1s would have been your earliest ones, 2 and 3 in the middle, and then your 4s were later. So mine being a 70, I will put mine in the middle, and this is a late number 2. Of course, I said the double trigger. This has an extractor, but it does not have an ejector. So I mean, it'll pop the shells up out of the chamber. It will not throw them or eject them. You have to pull them out. Some, you know, some even older and some newer double barrels even, they don't have an extractor or ejector. So I mean, you gotta extract them up out of the chamber yourself, you know, up out of the barrel themselves, and pull them out. This one will push them up out a little bit with the extractor. It will not eject them. You'll have to pull them out yourself. So it's no biggie. I actually prefer that, less to go wrong. Of course, this is the 18.5-inch barrel. I measured it so the ATF can lick my balls. I measured it inside with a tape measure. I'm not doing it on camera because the ATF don't need to know. But it is an 18.5-inch barrel, so you can go fuck off. You infringing fucks. This is only a 2 3/4-inch gun. You know, you cannot shoot 3-inch out of this. And if you don't know how, what you do is you can actually feel. You take sometimes you can feel with your finger, if your finger's small enough to get down inside here. But you take something that's not going to cut up the inside of your barrel. They have gauges that you can buy, but if you don't have a gauge, the way you can do it, take something slender, and you'll actually be able to feel where that chamber, the internal chamber, the seat, you'll be able to feel where it ends. And I actually did measure this one, and it is right. You know, it only goes to 2 3/4. So you can't fire 3-inch out of this gun, which that's fine. You run 2 3/4-inch slugs and buckshot in it. It'll fuck up somebody's day just as good as a 3-inch will. I'll slide up here a little bit. Look at the stock. The stock on this, as I said, is European straight stock or European long stock, as some people like to call them. These are made from what I gathered anyway, a little bit of research I did on them. The majority of the AYA Yeomans and the AYA guns were aged European walnut. It's a premium hardwood. It's, I would say, moderately durable and lighter in color than the American or the black walnut. And it has, when it's finished right, and even now you can see if you compare this to American walnut, this has they describe it as like a kohler. It looked kohler in tone as opposed to like a warmer tone than the American or black walnut. Um, Personally, I love the looks of it, but to me, the black walnut is one of my all-time favorite gun stock finishes. It's great to work with. You can do a lot with it, and black walnut just looks amazing. These guns were made. The Yeoman models are made from 1945 to 2006. The AYA company itself started in 1938. They were popular. They didn't really get popular here until over here in North America till 70s, 80s, late 70s, early 80s. They were really big in France, Spain, Great Britain. These guns, not the coach guns specifically, but the your longer barrel, your 28-inch barrels, 30-inch barrels, double barrels were used a lot in the Scottish Highlands. To hunt, your quail up there. So these were big, not this model, not the coach, but the longer double barrels were super big overseas for the migratory bird hunters, your quail hunters and such in the Highlands. So it's a little bit of history on them. Real quick, I don't want to drag this out too long. The difference between the box lock and the side lock. So the lock, or the lock work, whatever you want to call it, it's actually the mechanism inside that allows the gun to pretty much to transfer the trigger pull to the detonation of the cartridge. In basic terms, I guess you could describe it as it's the pull of the trigger, which releases the gun, which releases the sear, allowing that spring, to drive the hammer through the striker hole, pretty much, and return detonating the cartridge. So the box lock, the lock sits inside the box of the action. And the box locks were superior as far as durability compared to the side locks. They were designed from Anson and Dealey originally. It's 1875-ish. It became the building block, the foundation of all box locks. And so the side lock, or back to the box lock real quick. For over 100 years, I mean, they've been the creme de la creme, as you say. Allowing the hammers and the cocking limbs to work together. The function of the gun. So the side lock, the lock works, whatever you want to call it, actually sits on the side of the action. The big thing with the side lock, there's estimated 55 main parts, and a shitload of pins and screws. It is super complicated, not only to manufacture, but to assemble and disassemble, reassemble. It's just, they're not as popular. People don't want to work on them, but they are super valuable. The lock work itself got its name from clockmakers. who were originally hired to build guns. Similar complexity to the clock mechanism in a clock. So some of the terminology used by clockmakers actually still remains as far as guns. As far as the tumbler, the sear, and the bridle. So I mean, that's kind of neat. Clocks and guns, similar there. Gun locks are difficult to assemble. They, as far as the UK goes, there only a handful of craftsmen still doing that stuff over there. Lock makers. So I mean, there's your rundown, a little bit of the side lock versus the box lock. Side lock more complicated, less, I would say, common gun owner friendly. You gotta really, really know what you're doing. I wouldn't really touch one personally. Box lock proven more superior in strength, reliability. So there's a difference. The box locks and the side locks, double barrels. I'm gonna wrap this up, guys. Like I said, this is a Yeoman, AYA Yeoman, double barrel 12 gauge, case hardened, 18.5 inch barrel, double trigger. I might do some rebluing on it. We'll see. I'm not touching the wood. The wood's gonna stay how she is, but let me say it's beautiful. Has that old feel to it. Not super semi. It got some weight to it. It's not super heavy. Look at that blood again. Here, run down over quick. Case hardening just looks good on there, don't it? Sure does.